Howdy, happy Halloween, everybody! I'm actually not going as a cowboy this year. I got a movie party, Halloween themed, after I get off work that I'm going to. This is part of the costume, but yeah, this is actually the costume. I'm because of the chops, I was gonna try to pull off Old Man Wolverine, Old Man Logan, but I couldn't get to like the store in time to get one of those spray hair things that you can just shampoo for like a grayed up beard and stuff like that. So I just decided to go original Wolverine and stuff like that. Whatever, it's fine. I can still pull it off. Whatever, it's cool. But no, that's not what you want to talk about. Now, as I said, as of today, I believe that copy strike I had over on that last video with the Jason Bourne one has finally ended. So yay! And as I said, I'm now back into doing the usual routines and adding some new stuff to the channel. Two things I'm adding now is, one, I'm going to be adding death battle predictions as requested by Anthony Dahl. Thanks for that request, Anthony. And the reason, and I'll get into more reasons why I'm doing that in the video, but quick synopsis is just, I can't do reactions, at least not a really good reaction. I can put the headphones on and watch a video, but that's just not the same. I'll still do that with trailers and give commentary, but I'm not going to do that with like a death battle. But still give my thoughts on what's going to happen. So I'm going to do that on Wednesday. And I'll be doing that the moment I find out who's fighting who is when I'm going to do that prediction video. Instead, for a while, I've just been having these scenarios in my head, like, okay, what if this happened, what if that happened, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, you know what, why do I just do videos on that? Why don't I just do what-if videos? So that's basically what I'm going to be doing, and these can range from anything, from movies to TV shows to cartoons, anime, manga, video game. As long as I know the story, the lore, if you will, going into the what if I'm doing. Like, you're going to probably see a couple of Dragon Ball Z ones on here, because I've watched all of Dragon Ball Z. And I've been watching Super, too. I'm liking Dragon Ball Super, actually. Ever since they got into the... ever since they actually started to get into the new arcs instead of rehashing stuff, it's actually gotten pretty good. But yeah, basically it's going to be what ifs. So I'm going to just take items, and I'll take requests, too. But unlike the Who Would Win ones, I might not be able to do all the what ifs unless I actually have an understanding. So the first couple are probably going to be very popular, like shows or animes or something like that. Then I'll go into some more like nerddom stuff and things like that for myself. But regardless, we're going with the first one. The first one I decided, now I actually changed this one because I found out that it was originally going to be what if King Kai taught Goku the instant transmission. But having looked into it, King Kai actually doesn't know the instant transmission as far as we know. That was a translation error. So I maybe I'll do that as just a fun one, but that's just, it's because it's not actually canon, I can't really do that one. So instead, I decided to go with another one I wrote down, and that is, what if Goku went Super Saiyan right around the Saiyans arc, right when Vegeta and Nappa showed up. Now, when looking into this, I've seen a lot of different things, like what if how you become a Super Saiyan, like you gotta have be over a certain power level, like 100,000 or something like that, and then to go Super Saiyan. But no, I don't think that's the case. You don't have to do that. Obviously, the Bardock story, the what if story, isn't technically canon, but it's still part of it. It's still technically DBZ lore. Nope, not going inside right now, Domino. Come on, you're not going inside right now. You need to run around and burn off some energy. So it's debatable what they require. All we really know is you need to have like that point of pure rage just breaks you, and then you ascend to the next level. That's the only thing we really know about turning Super Saiyan. Though we don't know for certain how Goten or Trunks, little Goten and Trunks, or little Trunks and Goten, went Super Saiyan the first time. But regardless, so this is a what-if speculation of what I think, how the series would progress if Goku... No, Domino. No, down. You're not going inside right now. It's not cold out here. I'm fine, so you should be fine. You're covered in a coat, for God's sake. You know, what if Goku went Super Saiyan? And yeah, that's my father. Basically at the battle of the Saiyans invading Earth. So how would that take place? Well, I think it's going to happen basically along the lines like this. I think Goku, first off, it's going to be Kami gets him, he takes his sentence away, and he heads off on Nimbus. He then senses, but a difference being in this is that he senses Piccolo about to meet his end. He tries to get there as fast as he can and gets there, doesn't sense Piccolo. He's worried, and he sees Piccolo there, and he's not only upset that Piccolo's gone, but the realization that he can't bring any of them back. He can't, because the Dragon Balls are gone now. Kami's gone, all of them. He can't bring them back. That's going to be the tipping. They're going to mock him. Vegeta's like, Kakarot. It's like, that's glad you could join us, Kakarot. And then it's just maybe he's just trembling, and then just first powers up to like the 8,000, over 8,000, but then he just breaks and goes boom, and then all of a sudden Vegeta and Nappa are just like, what's going on? It's like, Vegeta, what's the scouter wait, Vegeta, what does the scouter say? It's like, and all of a sudden his power is just going. And the thing about scouters is, I think there's only a certain level of power they can handle before they just max out and break. Frieza was like that. Vegeta's was, oh no, Vegeta destroyed his, but still, was like that. I think Ginyu was able to handle like on 180,000 because he was able to record that. Salza in the Cooler movie that happened. So I think right somewhere in the lower hundreds of thousands where scouters break. So basically, this up until after the Frieza arc, we're going to be looking at power levels. We know Super Saiyan's a 50 times multiplier. At 8,000, he goes to 400,000. So I'm going to assume at 400,000 the scouter breaks. He's like, well, Vegeta's like, so, and you just see Goku just, I'm gonna. It's like, and it's just I'm gonna destroy you. It's like, and then Nappa and Vegeta just power up fully. It's like, yeah, and then they go and they just get wrecked. Just get absolutely wrecked by Goku. Now, it's still Goku. And even with Goku versus Frieza, he still gave him plenty of options. He was still relatively in control and all that. He was just really angry. And he's going to take his anger out on them and completely and utterly just wreck them. But they're still going to be, like, alive and stuff like that. So, get Vegeta maybe just say, get it, God, fire! And Goku just, boom, boom. It's like, you fool, and then just maybe then they both turn. Because here's the thing, Nappa's still alive at this point. They try to tag team Goku, nothing's gonna work. They both go a great ape, which again that's a times 10 multiplier. Vegeta and having maybe had their asses kicked a little bit, they'd be a little lower on the. That's the thing when we're recording those power levels. It's not necessarily the same thing as say. They usually, when you see the Daisenshu, they're usually at full power, but I highly doubt that after expending energy and getting your ass kicked, you're at full energy level. Your power level is at max still. So I would guess it's more along the lines, they're probably down like a couple thousand. So Vegeta's probably still at 16,000. Nappa's probably, Domino, no. And Nappa's maybe around 5,000. So they both go grade 8. Nappa's 50,000. Vegeta's 160,000. Nappa still gets his butt kicked. And Nappa still gets his tail handed to him, literally. And then Vegeta would at least be able to put up at least somewhat of a fight, but he's so large at this point, and despite maybe even being a little faster, he's just no match. 160,000 versus 400,000 is not a fight. Not a fight whatsoever. Hello, baby. Domino's here, too. She's a cow for Halloween. Moo. Or she's Domino from X-Men. Anyway. Yeah, I wanted someone to say, so Domino like X-Men? It's like, if any woman I ever meet I start dating says, oh, what's your dog's name? Domino, like from X-Men? It's like, I am marrying you. But no, so Goku would more or less wreck both of them, cut off both their tails alone, but would allow them both to leave, basically. That's how it basically is. I think he would allow them both to leave, and there it goes. So after that, though, and I think Goku would still be, it's one of those Saiyans improve after every battle, even if it's not Zenkai boost. So Goku might be around 9,000 or something like that at that point. Now, the events that transpire after this are a little different. Both Vegeta and Nappa would recover. Vegeta would still be at about 24,000 after his Zenkai boost. Nappa, I actually think would get a higher boost because when you do the math proportional to it, Vegeta got about a 1/3 boost. I think Nappa would get a stronger boost because he was weaker. Because he's weaker, he took more of a beating, and therefore I think he would get a bigger boost. So I think he'd actually more or less double in strength to about 15,000. Now, they both lost their tails, so those events are going to transpire slightly differently. I don't think Nappa's coming out of the Namek arc, but I do believe he would go with Vegeta to the Namek arc. Now, what happens with them going to Nappa? Gohan, Goku, Krillin, Bulma, all of them. I think it's altered different. Now, I think Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan are still going to head off to Namek first. However, I think Goku will actually stay behind and try and train in the Capsule Corp spaceship. And I believe... no, they blew up the Saiyan pod by mistake. But I believe they used the schematics from the Namekian pod to build one of their own. And Goku's doing that because he wants to learn how to control his powers and things like that. He didn't even bother using Kaioken. Because it would possibly... Well, it's not to say he probably couldn't use Kaioken. And here's the thing about Kaioken and Super Saiyan. And they made a note of this in Super that it would just put so much strain on his body. I would argue at least maybe like a Kaioken times 2 in Super Saiyan, he could manage that, especially if he's training. All right, you want to go in? I can't. I just realized I can't let you inside because you're going to immediately want to come back out. Domino, you need to be chill. You need to be cool. It's Halloween, spooky times. So I think he's going to be training in the capsule for Dynamite. Now I imagine the events. Honestly, I imagine the events of the Namekian arc while Goku's in the ship training are going to remain basically the same. Minus the fact that Nappa is there. I think him and Vegeta would tag team Dodoria. I mean, Vegeta, Kui, they would both get, wrecked. Dodoria, he would wreck Dodoria. Zarbon, I think they would tag team Zarbon, and I think they might actually be able to pull a win on Zarbon. That would be debatable, because, again, Nappa's only 15,000. That wouldn't be a great deal. It's a tough call, honestly. I think, for argument's sake, I think they would both. I think because they would want information, they would both. No. I think he would kill. Actually, I think what happens was he'd kill Nappa, and Vegeta would stay about the same. So Vegeta's more or less the same at this point, and Nappa's gone at this point. And now with Goku training, that's going to be the different thing. One. And this is something I realized that actually, despite the fact I love Screw Attack and Death Battle, I think they do a really good job. I think this is actually where they got the Kaioken multiplier, or not the Kaioken, the gravity method wrong. Because when you see Goku training in the spaceship, he doesn't start off at 100,000 times gravity. He starts at 10 and gradually increases, and his power is multiplied by tenfold at that point. So it's not like he's constantly training at 100 times gravity. So 1 second. All right, you want to go inside? Do not be begging to come back outside. All right. No. Sorry about that. Hopefully she will not be bothering to come back outside. Unlikely. She's very whatever. And by the way, if you hear my... Yep, and there she is. I'm not coming inside, Doc. I am not coming inside. Anywho. So, yeah, that's the thing about the gravity method is that it's a little hard to base it off of. What I can definitely say is, while Goku would probably be spending time training in both his base form and his... Go. Close the door. Just close it. Domino's just... It's because I'm out here, basically. That's the only reason. She wants me inside with her, but she can't always get what she wants. But here's the thing. I think while he's training his base form, honestly, he's also training to master, or at least really work on his Super Saiyan form. And because of that, he's going to be able to train at a much greater times gravity. I think by the end, he's going to be like around 200 base gravity, or times gravity. So, what I actually more or less, if the overall time span times 10 his power overall, and that's what the Daizenshu basically says, is around 90,000, minus the Kaioken, or not including the Kaioken, around 90,000. I would say it's probably around double after that, after the gradual increases of power back and forth. So, I would say he's probably around 800,000. Or what's it mean? Not 800,000, 180,000. So what his Kaioken was against Ginyu is actually his base at this point. He'd also be able to withstand the Kaioken times 10, no problem. And he'd have a much easier time with the Kaioken times 20, given 200 times gravity. So at that point, it changes up a bit. He gets there, he beats up the Ginyu Force. The events between him and Ginyu are pretty much the same, except he pretty much owns Ginyu pretty outright. But Ginyu still changes bodies with him. Because of how high his power is, I imagine he's probably got more than 23,000. He's probably like a 43,000, but decreasing. So after that, then Vegeta happens, and the whole fight between Nappa or Frieza, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, that's all the same. Now, basically, what changes is when Goku arrives, his power is more of, and I did the math, because someone actually did the actual percentage boost he got from that, and it was about 33%, 33.3. He comes in, he's roughly around 6 million. So right off the bat, even a suppressed Frieza, he's pretty much bitch slapping a suppressed Frieza. Though Frieza could put up a fight. Maybe once Frieza releases a few percent. So if he goes up to 6 million, they're both tied and they're both even. Battle. Then maybe Goku decides to use a minor Kaioken and just mashes him, and it's like, and then just it's like, I bet you, it's like, yeah, I've got some reserves myself. It's like, oh yes, fine, maybe 10 times what you've shown, but I've only used 1% of my power. It's like, the Goku's just like, It's like, yeah, sure, let's go with that. And then he just goes 50%. Like, now what do you think? And just Goku cracks his neck, kind of like, I was like, okay, well, it's like, let's dance. And then just goes Kaioken times 10. Just boom. Frieza didn't expect it because he's already at 50%. It's like, and the fight continues. Just do. The Goku's fighting on par with Frieza. Frieza can't believe it. Says like, you wretched little monkey. And it's like, I'm going to destroy this planet. And then just blast it. All of a sudden, Goku you see that close zoom in of Goku's face, and it just suddenly transforms. Super Saiyan just grabs it. See, I don't know if Goku could actually... I think Goku probably could have stopped that, because it's similar to what Cooler did, where he grabbed Cooler's energy ball, and I don't know, those aren't technically canon, but still, it remains to be used as an example. So I do imagine that he could grab it, and then just boom, and he's just like, you see, Frieza, you're not dealing with your average Saiyan. Oh my god! No, you have no idea how annoying that was getting. But no, yeah, it's like, I'm not going to do that whole, I am the hope of the universe. But anyway, so now you got Goku, and due to multiply, he's about 300 million. He's far beyond what he is on Namek at this point. He's double what he is on Namek, because he spent so much time. I wouldn't say it's perfect, like, it's not like Cell level Super Saiyan, but I would say he's definitely had some practice time with Super Saiyan at this point. He's definitely stronger because of it. He can transform at will now. He's got a lot of control over it. And Frieza maybe goes, is like, 100% of my maximum. And then he just tries it, and Goku just boom, 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 just wrecks him. Now, here's where things are really going to start changing up. I do believe he defeats Frieza. Does he kill him? There's two scenarios to look at this. If he kills him, that's it. Maybe King Cole still comes to Earth, but Goku's going to be there, and he wrecks King Cole's shit. Because Goku lives on Namek, and they just go home. And, they wish back the dragon and all that stuff. Everyone's happy. Namek survives. He doesn't learn the instant transmission. That is a big key thing in this. He does not learn the instant transmission. Now, if Frieza does survive, does Namek survive as well again? I would say yes. I think it's going to be one of those things where he just blasts him so far into space. And maybe he's not as mutilated as like he was in the actual series, but he's still going to be pretty like he's missing he's missing both his legs, maybe missing an arm, but he's not like missing half his head or anything. I think it's going to be just more partly cybernetic. So they send. So let's just say, for sake's sake, that it stays the same. He's just maybe missing less of his body. They come to Earth. They both basically go back. They all are, reconciling. Vegeta is trying to train. Vegeta's there, so he's trying to train and, defeat Goku, or at least match Goku. Maybe even spars with Goku at points. Their rivalry is always going to be there. But Vegeta starts to lose a little bit less of it because he has someone to compete against. He's got both Piccolo and Goku to compete against. Maybe they train a couple times together. They're trying their best. So Vegeta would probably be stronger. Piccolo would be stronger for that because Goku would be there to help be there to train with. Goku would be stronger than he was when he came back to Earth. So when they sense it, Goku just immediately travels over there, flies over. He's faster, obviously. Meets up with them, defeats Frieza and Cole. Then Trunks shows up, explains the whole scenario. Now, with a 3-year training arc is where it's going to get really different, I think. And this is something that I'm a little torn on, because why didn't they use like the hyperbolic time chamber during the 3 years before the androids? It's a really good question. In fact, I might do a what if on that. But I think during the 3 years, Vegeta's going to leave Earth after impregnating Bulma. Try to achieve Super Saiyan. He'll achieve it off our world like he did in the story. But I think Goku will actually reach like Ascended Saiyan during this time. I think he's going to be because it's a matter of perspective when you think about it. How long have I been Super Saiyan for? These guys are far stronger than Frieza. Okay, well, and I catch a heart virus, I'm going to train. And when you've been Super Saiyan, when you've been so powerful for so long, you're wondering, is this the maximum of my potential? And Goku's someone who's always trying to improve himself. So I think he would actually... Now, he wouldn't achieve, like, his against Cell form. He wouldn't achieve that, like when he's perfect against perfect Cell. He would not achieve that. I think what he achieved is something akin to what Vegeta achieved. Like not Super... That's another thing. Is Ascended Saiyan basically Super Saiyan 2? I don't think it is. I think it's just like an in-between gap. He achieves the in-between gap. So, when the androids do show up, he still gets the heart virus. And he goes Super Saiyan, even goes Ascended Saiyan. However, his Ascended Saiyan is not anywhere near as strong as it could be because of the heart virus. That being said, it's leagues above what he was in the original series. So I think would actually wreck pretty much... I don't think he would fully defeat Android 19. I think he would actually like tear an arm off, maybe take a leg off. But when he did an energy blast, Android 19 does, in fact, absorb it through his remaining hand. But I think Goku would eventually just defeat him, but the heart virus taken. Android 20 would want to move in on Goku, but there would be Piccolo, everyone there, and then Vegeta shows up. So they would take Goku back. Android 20 runs off and then tries to release and goes to release 1917. Oh, excuse me, that didn't sound nice. Yeah, I'm getting over a cold, so if you hear my voice is kind of cracky, sorry. So then Goku's recovering from the heart virus, which, by the way, I think that the heart virus does give a bit of a Zenkai boost because it's near death. So, and the events after that would transpire pretty similarly. Similarly, pretty similarly up until basically up until basically 17 gets absorbed. So actually no, I take that. Well, no, I take that back because Goku I think is at this point stronger than the semi-perfect Cell. I don't know by how much. Probably about the amount that Vegeta was stronger by. So he would go. He finds Cell. Cell was able to suppress his power at that point. That's true. So Cell will show up. He's about to maybe absorb 17. Then Goku suddenly shows up. Again, no instant transmission. He just shows up because he can sense. They can all sense the energy at that point. And it's just like, Goku, if you give me a moment, you will find yourself a true opponent. Yeah, no. And then just starts to wail, just completely wreck Cell. Just Cell can't do anything against this now completely. At this point, I would say he's, because of the Zenkai boost he probably got from the heart virus, and because of, actually, not having been able to train before, he would probably be about near Cell. He would probably have a perfect Saiyan form. I would actually say it's a little weaker than Cell's because he's not training in the hyperbolic time chamber for that year. So, that being said, I do believe he would completely and utterly destroy Cell. 16 would want to go after him because of his program, but would quickly realize, none of us or anyone near his... What? What are you talking about, man? It's like, and I'm going to go... I'm going to actually go abridged version 16. Do you see that? It's the smoldering remains of, like, the smoldering husk, like charcoal of Cell. It's like, do you see that? Yeah? Could you beat that? No? He beat that with no effort whatsoever. Do you think we can beat that? As he points to Goku. My point made. I'm sounding a bit more like Kami Guru, Super Kami Guru. Point made. It's like, yeah, it's like, and he just looks at it and it's like, look, I'll make it. It's like, he looks at him, it's like, and it's like, but he quickly realizes, like, you guys haven't killed anyone, have you? No? So it just gives him a stare. It's like, I believe you. make you a deal. Saying is, you guys actually don't seem like that bad at people. It's like it just looks at maybe H. It's like, I like your dress, by the way. It's like, yeah. Try just living a good life. Don't hurt anyone. In fact, why don't you actually try being protectors? You could get a good viewers, BZ fighters. You could get a good fight in. You can still live your lives, do what you want. Just get mulling over. And I actually think he lets the androids go. And actually, I believe in the canon, didn't 17 become a park ranger? Isn't that what that whole joke in the bridge is? Like, I'm gonna ranger the shit out of that park. Yeah. So I think that's the case. So yeah, it's like, wow, did we just get a second? Yeah. Maybe I'm going to actually go be the park ranger. So after that, yeah. So now the events are really skewed. I think Goten is born earlier. He's older. Not older than Trunks. He's closer to age than Trunks. I think they're both stronger because they have both Vegeta and Goku to train them. In fact, I actually have my ideas what happens here. Gohan will still reach Super Saiyan, I believe, and is actually going to be allowed to train with Goku so long as he keeps up his studies. I think with Goku being there, I think they can make enough of an argument towards Chi-Chi to be like, look, Chi-Chi, I get it. You don't want him to be a fighter. You don't want that to be his life. I get that. If you want him to be in the books and have a good, healthy life, that's fine. But understand that he's still one of the strongest individuals on the planet. I mean, he is a Z fighter. He is powerful. If someone more powerful comes along at some point, we may need his help. So that just because you want him to be book smart doesn't mean he can't be physically strong as well and be able to protect the universe. And I think eventually that would win over Chi. He's like, fine, but he has to keep up all of his studies all the time, period. He's like, that's fine. In fact, study while you're training. He's like, yeah, actually, that'd be a good idea, Focus on two things, multitask. Now, it's not just, I think it's over a 7 year. I think it's like 7.5. We'll go 7.5 years because after Cell, it's a 7-year time skip. Things are going to be very different. Vegeta's not going to be Vegeta's not going to be able to be corrupted at this point. And him and Goku, I think, are actually going to have regular spars. Goku will even explain the hyperbolic time chamber to Vegeta, and they'll both use it once. Vegeta will reach it. They'll both, I think, actually reach like Super Saiyan 2 at that point. And I do believe Goku will actually reach the Super Saiyan 3. Because I think he'll use the hyperbolic time chamber again. And I think halfway through that, he will actually achieve Super Saiyan 3 and have better control over it in his living body because he'll have an extra 6 months to actually practice with the form. Because as he said in the other world, he hadn't, and the Buu arc, he hadn't had much time in the other world to do Super Saiyan 3 many times. He had done only a couple times after reaching it. So I do believe him. In fact, I think because of that, he might even be able to push Vegeta to reach Super Saiyan 3 to keep up their rivalry. I think they would actually have a much stronger rivalry and even a better friendship because he's there to challenge him. They would even maybe meet up like once a month or once every couple of months to have a good solid fight. Maybe even fight in the hyperbolic time chamber a couple times. And I think that would do him well. So at the minimum, I think Goku would reach Super Saiyan 3 and have better control over it in his living form. And I think Vegeta would definitely reach Super Saiyan 2. I think even Gohan would reach Super Saiyan. I don't know if he'd reach Super Saiyan 2, though. Now, and at the best case scenario, I think both Vegeta and Goku reach Super Saiyan 3. Now, when the Buu arc comes around, it's going to be different. Because I think Gohan and Goku, well, I think it's all going to play out similar in terms of how it went. With the exception that while they do sense that Gohan's strong, he's nowhere near as strong as he was. Not even as strong as he was against in the Majin arc, which he was weaker in the beginning phases than he was in the Cell arc. So I think they're still going to take his energy. It's not going to fill up a third of or a half of Buu's energy. It's going to probably fill up more around like a third, which would still be impressive, I'd say. And I think they would think that too. However, then they're going to go, the fights are going to take place, they're going to go about the same, except Goku, I think actually Goku and Gohan might change up their Goku and Vegeta might change up their opponents. So Gohan would still take out Pui Pui because they know Gohan's the weakest and Pui Pui's probably the weakest of them. They probably desist that. After that, the Yakon versus Goku fight would be the same. Then I think it would be Vegeta versus Dodoria, and I think it you know, it would be again that thing where, you know, he hits him with the spit and he hits his glove, he takes off real quick. He goes Super Saiyan 2, starts wailing on Dabura. It's going to be just one of those cool fights. Dabura pulls out the sword. I think he pulled out a sword, or was it a spear? Anyway, pulls out a weapon, go back and forth, so it's going to be cool. Big bang attack, boom, Dabura's still there, just the spit just incinerates on his aura. He's like, let me show you what a true Saiyan is like. And then just actually goes, again, it either stays Super Saiyan 2 and eventually either Dabura retreats or he defeats Dabura, or he goes Super Saiyan 3 and completely incinerates Dabura. Now, does Boo get released? I don't know if he does. I actually don't think... I think if Dabura is either defeated and hightails it, maybe. If he's completely killed, no. Because Bobby at that point is like, I don't have any. Then Sabrina goes like, hello. And then just kills him, and then that's it. If Boo gets released, both Goku and Vegeta are there. Also, by the way, Gotenks will never exist because Goku didn't learn the fusion dance. Vegeta will never exist, at least not in any real, at least not until Super era. Because here's the thing: I think if Boo does get released, both Vegeta and Goku will go. It will either go Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3, or both Super Saiyan 3s, and completely erase the fat bastard and just and then done. So, and then, because Boo's not there anymore, going to Battle of Gods territory, Beerus doesn't get super upset, and at least not on the level he did with Boo because of the pudding, and maybe doesn't destroy the planets because at least not at that point, and maybe things remain relative to people. Goku returns. Now, does Goku ever learn the instant transmission? I think actually because of Supreme Kai, he would learn the instant transportation technique. I don't know if that's instant transmission, but I think he would actually learn that move for travel purposes. So I think, more or less, you could say eventually he will learn the instant transmission because of Supreme Kai. Yeah, and then Super, none of the events of Super would really change, except they would probably ask Gohan to, or someone else to fill Boo's spot in the Universe 6 tournament, and maybe that person would actually, like, maybe it would be Tien, or maybe it would be Gohan, who knows. Apart from that, though, I don't think anything else would change. So, yeah, I'm going to have to work on shortening these what if videos, but, because that went really long. But yeah, that's my what if Goku went Super Saiyan against Nappa and Vegeta. So, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. If you have ideas for who wins, put those in the comments below too. I will get to those. I will put them in the list. And if I don't get to them right away, I will have them on the list to get to at some point. And I will give you a shout out for those suggestions. Speaking of which, this week's Who Would Win is the last Pokemon Who Would Win up until I actually can get the starter. I know the stats for the new starters. And that is going to be a battle royale between all the leaders of all the evil teams. And that is going to be fun as hell. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you folks. Oh, and this week will be Doctor Strange, obviously. So, later.